Act out your favorite sex position.
Hello Arena people, welcome back to the channel. Hope your weekend is weekending well. Anyways, that opening video you saw, that was Khosi reading out an instruction on a piece of paper, and what was written there was act out your favorite sex position. I'll bring us up to speed about what happened or what led to that moment. But first, if you're watching this channel for the very first time, you came at the right time, and I am saying a very big welcome to you. Please do not leave without subscribing. Support your girl by subscribing. Thank you so much. So Tati hosted the housemates to a PJ night party. Pajamas party, you know, they had lots of games to play and so many other fun stuff that they did. So they did this lucky dip. I just chose to call it lucky dip. They passed around this black stuff that had different pieces of paper with various instructions written on it. So when it gets to your turn, you dip your hand in there and pick any paper. It's a random stuff. You read whatever is on the paper. You have to do what is written on the paper, or you get to drink a drink, like you get to take a drink. And the drink, from what I saw, like the few people that drank the drink, it was not a pleasant drink, because when she had to drink the drink, she had to cover her nose, like she had to close her nose for her to be able to take a gulp from the glass of drink. While they were playing the game, when it got to Khosi's turn, she picked a paper and she was asked to read out what was on the paper. She read it out, and it was written, act out your favorite sex position. She said she didn't have one. Nana was like, widow. When she said that widow, every other housemate, they started laughing. So Nana said, widow, before your husband left, what was his favorite, sex position? Well, Khosi stood up and she was about acting it out alone. And they told her she has to act it out with the opposite gender. That it was the rule of the game. Well, I think she was not having it. She decided to go for a drink instead. And that was how she went for a drink. And Nana was like, widow, your husband is sad wherever he is. Like, he would not like that he did not show us his favorite sex position, or the favorite sex position the both of you do practice, when you do the do. I was like, Nana, that is too much. And also, Nana calling Khosi widow. I know, I guess she's trying to be funny, but come on, nobody died. It's just so inappropriate. I know when she says it, people get to laugh about it, but then it doesn't make any sense to me. Another thing, guys, I noticed when Khosi went for the drink, instead of, acting out the sex position with somebody, the camera zoomed in on Tabang. Like, I was like, what is wrong with these people? Like, they're trying to show us Tabang's face and how he felt because Khosi decided to go for a drink instead of, because I am sure they were expecting Khosi to pick out Tabang and, act out the whatever with him, but she did not. She opted for a drink. So probably they are trying to say, oh, okay, Tabang is disappointed or something. I don't get it. Moving on, when it got to Tabang's turn in the game, Tabang picked a paper, from the lucky dip, and he was asked to spank someone, though they did not specify where, whether it was the bum, the face, leg, hand, wherever. He was just asked to spank someone. Well, he stood up and went to Miracle. Though Khosi was like, Tabang, just pick a drink it out. Tabang said no, he wasn't going to do that. So he went to Miracle. Miracle was like, no, it has to be someone of the opposite sex, not me. Tabang went back and went to pick Khosi. Sorry, he picked Khosi. And that was when the other housemate now insisted that it has to be a spank on the bum. I was like, they just said spank somebody. They did not specify where. So why are you now putting it that it has to be the bum? Like, you could have spanked her on her back or wherever, not the bum. So they asked Khosi to bend that Tabang has to spank on her bum. And Khosi was like, no, that she was going to stand. There was the way she placed her hand around her bum, like, you don't go further than this. Oh, guys, I forgot to mention that when Tabang went for Khosi, they were like, we do this widow thing again. And Black Boy was like, oh, be easy with her. She's a young widow. I was like, you people should take it easy. What's this thing with calling Khosi widow up and down? Well, there was something Tabang did that I liked. He asked Khosi, when he picked Khosi, he asked her, are you okay with this? I didn't get any response from Khosi. Like, I didn't hear her say anything, whether she was okay with it or not. She just went along with the whole thing. So after everything, Tabang spanked her. Like, they were insisting that it was going to be 5 spanks, but it was 3. So he spanked her 3 times, and that was it. That was the end of the game. Oh, guys, what I need to mention is that I noticed while they were playing that game, especially the one that Tabang, picked Khosi up. I noticed Khosi was not comfortable with it at all. She wasn't, but she just wanted to oblige them because, they were playing again. I am sure other housemates did some other weird things, but then she wasn't okay with it.
Babes, I had a dream. They came back.
Yvonne and Khosi, like, guys, who knew? I never expected these two to bond the way they did. Like, I have never seen them together like this, talking, laughing. Whoa, like, this is a very big one and a good one. Would I say the eviction of Yemi and Juicy just kind of brought these two together? When last did you see Khosi, sitting down, apart from Olivia? I've not seen her sitting with any other female housemates to talk this much. She's always with the male housemate. Like, this is a big welcome development on the side of Khosi, if you ask me. Khosi and Yvonne talked about not knowing it was going to happen, like the eviction of their guys from the house was going to happen the way it did. Though Khosi said she had a feeling that she just had this gut feeling that something was going to happen and she was worried about it. In fact, she was even worried about herself that after Olivia and JuicyJay were evicted and Ebuka came back to the house again, to ask the other housemates that are up for eviction to stand up, that it just kept ringing in her head that the next people to leave was the Yelisa. In fact, the next name to be called were the Yelisas. And that was it. And Eva was like, your own is even better. You had a feeling that they would leave me. I never had that feeling. I thought Juicy was still going to remain in the house. Yvonne talked about how Juicy helps her to do practically everything in the house. Like she has become dependent on Juicy. That with him gone, she feels like a baby that doesn't know what to do. She talked about how she wakes Juicy up from sleep to talk about the things going on in the house. That a whole lot is going on in the house and she needs to talk to someone about those things. And Juicy is the person she talks to, that she tells him everything, whether it is his business or not. She doesn't care. He just needs to hear her out. That she doesn't notice any other person in Alice's house. She feels it is just Juicy and her. Sometimes she's like a lot has been going on in this room and she doesn't even know about them because of the time she gets to spend with Juicy. But I think it was not just Juicy, she also spends a lot of time with Olivia and sometimes Nana in the mix. Khosi said a part of her keeps having the feeling that he's going to come back, talking about Yemi coming back. And Yvonne cursing and she told Khosi, babes, I had a dream they came back. And Khosi told her she had a dream too, that she dreamt it was JuicyJay, Olivia and Yemi that came back. And it was still the same thing Yvonne had to say, like their dreams were somehow similar. Nelisa was nowhere in the dream from what they narrated. They said they did not see Nelisa. And Khosi said she told Kanaga Jr. that you never understand until it happens to you. To think that I am being dramatic. They felt she was being dramatic with the vision of him, her crying and everything. But then she said, you don't understand this thing until it happens to you. And this is the plain truth. Sometimes you see people suffering from certain things and you're like, oh, this person is doing too much. But it is how they feel they are, acting out. Well, Yvonne told Khosi that she is so sorry to those that she insulted in the house. That they were like, why are you crying? Didn't you just meet him in the house? Boy, girl, you would effing cry. You would cry, according to Yvonne. So people were asking her, oh, you just met this person, you shouldn't be crying like this. But then, yes, she just met the person in the house, but they connected, they bonded and everything. Like they just became practically inseparable. So if the person leaves, of course, she will feel it. And I even think Yvonne felt it more because two of her very good friends, talking about Juicy and Olivia, were evicted at the same time. Like it was so much for her. Khosi then said if they had maybe 2 or 1 week to the end of the show, it would have been okay, but 3 weeks, like how can she cope with Yemi for 3 weeks? Yvonne then cut in that 3 weeks was a whole lot and that her mental health was at stake. That even when she had her diary session with Big Brother, that she told Big Brother that she wasn't okay. That do you know how many times she was in the toilet crying? That she had to ask herself, what's going on with you? These people are not dead. But then she couldn't help how she felt because she was going through the whole thing all alone by herself. Then Yvonne acted out how Khosi, reacted when Yemi was evicted out of the house. She said yes, she was crying, but she was still able to catch everything. That yes, she was crying, but she was looking at Khosi. So she caught everything that happened that night. That the way Khosi acted, she mimicked Khosi and everything. And Khosi laughed because it was so funny. Even me, while watching the clip, I laughed because the way she acted out the whole thing, it was so funny. Like imagine somebody crying, but you're noticing what the other person is doing. Like it was so funny the way she was, dramatizing the whole thing. Guys, like I said before I started, dropping this gist, this particular one, I am so happy that the both of them, talking about certain things, it helps you, ease out whatever burden or load you have about that thing. So both of them, talking about this, bonding over this is so beautiful to watch. And I am sure it will help them to even cope with the absence of their boyfriends in the house. Well, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching up to this point. Don't forget to drop your comment about your opinion about the various gists for this video. Drop down in the comment section down below. I would love to read from you. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up for me and subscribe if you're yet to.